Ladies and gentlemen, Call of Duty has officially and unintentionally admitted defeat to Battlefield 6. And I told you so. And I told you you should stop listening to these goofy ass streamers who don't know nothing about gaming or the culture. They're ball and gun gamers with a platform trying to scream, we don't need skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking ruins games. And skill-based matchmaking, I'm not saying it's perfect, but for those who don't understand, skill-based matchmaking was designed in purpose to protect you and I, the average to above average gamer. So when you come home and hop on a game from your 9 to 5, you can have fun. There are going to be some games that are going to be sweaty, and there's going to be some games that are on your level, but it's mostly going to be on your level. I've been arguing the only people mainly who hate skill-based matchmaking are sweats because they have to play against other people on their level. And the funny thing about it and why you shouldn't listen to them, they contradict themselves when they bitch about this shit. Sweats don't want to play with sweats. And nigga, you think me, an average, above average player wants to play with you? Nigga, you don't want to play with you. These niggas bitched and moaned about skill-based matchmaking and shooters. They took it, they got rid of skill-based matchmaking in X Defiant. That game died. Y'all bitched and complained, Call of Duty's dead because no skill-based matchmaking. Black Ops 7 sales are through the toilet. That game's dying. And now we have a report that Treyarch is nervous. For those unaware, Battlefield 6 is the best-selling game of 2025. 10 million copies in 2 months. Shout out to them. You see what happens when you listen to your community? They're nervous. They paid off all these streamers, and niggas is still not buying that shit. And the first couple weeks that Black Ops 7 was out, they removed the skill-based matchmaking, and you know what they found? Not only are the sales down, but the player retention is down. For those not following, the purpose of skill-based matchmaking is to keep player retention high, meaning more time on the game. And basically what they found when they removed the skill-based matchmaking is the average person playing the game, and I'm just giving a random number to give you an example, but the average person playing Call of Duty who used to spend an hour or two a night is now only playing 10, 15, 20 minutes, and they're getting off because now you got to deal with these crybaby streamers who only care about getting clips, being all in your, and I've seen it. I know y'all seeing this shit. That's the main thing I've seen people complaining about on Black Ops 7. To be 100% fair, the main consensus I see from the Call of Duty community is Black Ops 7 is not that bad multiplayer wise. It's not the giant leap forward that the community wanted, but it's basically what Black Ops 6 should have been. I hear people saying the multiplayer is all right. One of the main problems I'm seeing is people are saying it's sweaty as fuck. And the game only been out for a week or two. People want to come home from work and have fun. They don't want to play against a person who sits on stream for 14 hours a day to get clips and scream, fiend, 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 fiend. We're back. Look at the reload animations. And we got the data on that shit. Let's read along, man. If you thought the skill-based matchmaking conversation was going anywhere, you might want to boil the kettle. Not only is Treyarch adamant about having skill-based matchmaking, but Black Ops 7's playlist options will now feature skill-based matchmaking modes more prominently. The letter SBMM will forever be synonymous with FPS games. Skill-based matchmaking plays a huge role in modern-day matchmaking, and there was a lot of interest around Black Ops 7 after Treyarch revealed that it would feature a greater emphasis on open matchmaking. Slowly but surely, the developers might be backtracking. Black Ops 7 Season 1 is moving to standard matchmaking in the feature. Since launch, the standard matchmaking playlist option, which emphasizes skill-based matchmaking, has been a regular playlist option. This will change with Black Ops 7 Season 1. We continue to see increased engagement with the standard mosh pit, so we'll be featuring it in the featured tab for players who prefer an experience with more similarly skilled players. They're telling you, we looked at the data, and when we re-implemented, they secretly have been doing tests. They secretly put skill-based matchmaking in the game, and what they found is you are playing the game more. One day you niggas are gonna give me my fucking flowers, man. With the main tab changing to featured, the other tab will now become party games, which includes Prop Hunt, Sharpshooter, One in the Chamber, and Gunfight at the launch of Season 1, as well as the debut of Sticks and Stones and Gun Game in Week 2. And you want to know the funniest shit about this? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to make a new prediction.
Super chats just remind me how much Kitty Pryde loves to
Because you allow these streamers to ruin your fucking game, your community. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but there's potential, because this is probably the first time in a long time that the Call of Duty devs listen to you guys. The streamers scream, no skill-based matchmaking, no skill-based matchmaking. When I sit in my diaper for 18 hours a day, not washing my ass, playing Call of Duty, it's frustrating because I have to play against other people who don't wash their ass, and that's not fair to me, I mean the community. Because that's what they're really saying. It's about them. It's not about you. And I really wish you guys would understand that. When I make arguments in full faith in what I think is best for the community. But a lot of these bigger dudes, they just make arguments in what they think is best in making them money and getting them more views. It doesn't fucking work. And because this is the first time that Activision has listened to the community in a while, and they see this game has been out for 2 weeks. It's failing miserably. They had to sneak the feature back in. They're never going to listen to you niggas again. And it's because you allowed dude bros to be the voice of the community. People who can barely read are the voice of your community. So Call of Duty community, clap it up for yourselves. You did this. Man, y'all thought the game was in bad shape. Now there's potential for this shit to get worse, because now Activision is gonna do whatever the fuck they want, because they said, we listen to you fucking twerps. We listen to you stupid ass niggas, and we're losing money. I love these streams. You saw him boot me. Hi, buddy. I know what I say doesn't feel good all the time, but what's real don't gotta feel good. It's still real, nigga. And y'all are the problem. In layman's terms, players are apparently playing modes that prioritize skill-based matchmaking. Y'all like that shit. The only people who don't like it are people who refuse to believe they're not as good as they think they are. They hit a ceiling, and instead of saying, you know what? Let me look at the footage. How can I improve as a gamer? They say skill-based matchmaking is the problem. Loser behavior. You're a sweat. You need to go play with other sweats. Just accept somebody, while you're wearing that diaper for fucking 13 hours a day, there's somebody wearing that diaper for 18 hours a day. He's better than you. And it is what it is. It's a fucking video game. Who cares? None of you niggas is making no money off this shit besides the top 1% streamers. You work at fucking White Castle. There's nothing wrong with working fast food, but you work at White Castle, bruh. You're not making no money off of this game. Shut the fuck up. This is the more player engagement here. Therefore, Treyarch is not rewarding this by adding standard mosh pit to the featured playlist, making it a center stage attraction. There has been suggestions that skill-based matchmaking might not be as open as advertised in Black Ops 7. This feature move doesn't necessarily support this theory, but it shows that skill-based matchmaking is becoming prevalent in Call of Duty once again. You know, we've been struggling to get a win in Battlefield 6 RedSec, man. It's been a rough couple weeks. Last night, we got killed by a tank like 3 times in a row in the final circle. The tank's been fucking us up. I do think they need to nerf the tanks a little bit, but for the most part, you see me, man. When I'm losing on the game, I say that's enough for me, chat. I don't get on social media and do all these bruh. Come on, man. Come on. But TBH, I'm trying to maintain my 1.7 KD. Get over it, bruh. I told y'all esports is the bane of my existence, bruh. That shit is for fucking losers. Yo, shout out to JFE with the super chat. Appreciate it. They should have never let the Dorito Munchers and Mountain Dew Chuggers have the say in things. Yeah. And you know what? Before I move on to the next article, I implore, make tanks inoperable in the final circle. I think that's the sweet spot. They should do that. I think so. They don't. I'm not calling for a complete removal of them, but the final circle, that shit is like, it shouldn't be there. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'll say all that to say this. It's time, y'all. If y'all watch any of these streamers that are ruining your games, it's time y'all start pushing back on this shit, man. Y'all gotta stop dick munching, man. Friendly reminder that dick riding is not a proper form of transportation. I repeat, dick riding is not a proper form of transportation. If they get mad that you don't agree with their opinion on a video game, maybe you need to be watching somebody else. Because y'all disagree with me all the time. I don't get mad. As long as you ain't calling me no bitch and no shit like that, I really don't give a fuck. I'd be like, yeah, I disagree. I agree with this. It ain't that deep. It's time to grow up. You guys are ruining your own fun. And there's barely any fun to be had in Call of Duty nowadays anyway. The last little bit of fun, you guys are getting rid of it. You guys are accelerating the death of your own fucking game, bruh. Because they immature. Stop encouraging that bullshit. Other Call of Duty news, and this article doubles down on basically what I was saying when it comes to the skill-based matchmaking. It's funny because I found the skill-based matchmaking article before I found this one, and it just solidified what I already knew. But anyways, Call of Duty is underperforming in 2025, analyst says, citing burnout, creative decisions, and AI slop. According to one analyst, Call of Duty as a franchise is underperforming in 2025 due to a variety of factors. Rise Elliott of Alinea Analytics said in an interview that some of the factors that he believes are contributing to Call of Duty's decline include community burnout, questionable creative and business decisions by Activision and Microsoft, and strong competition. In terms of the competition, Elliott called out Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders, along with Fortnite, which recently had a popular season with The Simpsons and launched positively with Chapter 7. Xbox dropped the ball on the wrong year, as this year some of the most exciting shooter releases came out. Attention is scarce. I think this is 100% a fair assessment. Creatively, they are bankrupt, and then on top of that, Arc Raiders and Battlefield 6 came out and just blew everybody away. And it's like, why play Call of Duty when we can be playing this? We don't care. It's on. And then I feel like where he forgot to leave out the Game Pass. That's the main reason I didn't even try Call of Duty. You know, for 10-15 bucks a month, okay, Game Pass is cool. I'll rent Call of Duty for 30, nigga. Nah. Call of Duty ain't that important, bruh. I'm turning that shit off. And then Battlefield 6 Red Sec mode is free to play. It ain't that fucking important. I don't care if you got fucking Fiend in that shit, dude. I think the best case scenario of what Call of Duty can do, take a break. We can't miss what's always in our face, man. In order to appreciate it, I wish they would just stop making them, but we know they like money. At bare minimum, take a break. Battlefield doesn't come out every year. I think that's actually one of the reasons why Battlefield 6 came out with such a bang. It's not that just the game was better. It gave us time to actually miss it. Call of Duty is just always in our face, man. It's like that one ex, you know, if you're lonely, you could call them up, you know, type shit. But the thing is, like, we're tired of calling you. We don't need your services anymore, you know? that one toxic ex. Shout out to Jonathan with the super chat. COD needs to either go free to play at this point or stop the annual releases. Shit, why not both? Bro, a 2-year gap, COD would bring me back for real. Yeah, because you'd be like, damn, okay, COD is back. I think they need to take a break to give us time as consumers to miss it, but also give themselves times to be creative. It's hard to do something dope and innovative every year with the same formula. So take time, man. Do some closed alpha tests where people can give proper feedback. And I think it can make a strong comeback. But right now, this annual shit, man. These studios, these executives, they need to let it go. They're too focused on making money, and you need to be creative. There's a saying: if you build it, they will come. If you make something dope, people will buy it 9 times out of 10, especially if it has a strong word of mouth. You guys are too focused just on the numbers instead of focusing building something dope. Not like a 2-year break. COD needs like a 6-year. It doesn't need to go on a 6-year break. I think 3 years would actually be the sweet spot. If they went away for 3 years, I feel like that's enough time where people would miss it. They're like, all right, it's time for Call of Duty again. But as long as you do the annual shit, and then all the microtransactions, that burns people out. Speaking of burnout, people are upset at Nintendo. And you know why? Do you hear this right here? Do you hear what's playing in the background? These are my free-to-play beats right here. My royalty-free beats. Look it up on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. You can use it in your content. Search royalty-free radio. It has all the beats on there. This is music. Totally free. Just play it in the background. You know what doesn't have music? I've learned that the new Metroid Prime 4, when you go into the desert sections and you're riding the bike, apparently it's completely quiet. All you hear is the bike, and they say that shit is boring. And you know what's funny? When I saw the gameplay trailers, I was like, it looks boring. It looks like there's nothing in those deserts, right? Apparently, there's not only is there not music, but there is, and you only get it access to it if you buy a $30 Amiibo. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Background music in video games after you spend $70, $80 now costs another $30 to get some music in your goddamn game. You think I'm playing? I'm gonna let Pie Matt tell the story.
Yo, you greedy fucks.
These jokers put music behind a paywall. In Metroid Prime 4, a lot of people were complaining that there's no music while driving in the desert. Come to find out, the only way to get music during that section of the game is by buying a $30 Amiibo. You cannot make this shit up, chat. This is crazy. This is some beyond greedy shit, man. And the craziest part about this is that I wouldn't even be mad if they were replacing music. There is no music in this.
I agree with that. I wouldn't care either. If there's music in the game, but you want to unlock maybe some bonus tracks and it just comes with the Amiibo as a bonus, I'm cool with that, whatever. But to literally take it out the game and you only can get the full experience for an extra $30, get the fuck out of here, dog.
So the only way for you to hear music during this pretty boring part of the game is by giving them $30 fucking dollars? Like, come on, man, what are we doing here? I feel bad for the guy that made this music not knowing his shit is behind a paywall. And
that's facts.
The Metroid game is getting a lot of good looks, a lot of good reviews, and it's just
and nobody bought this up in the review. This is where I'm 100% on y'all side. Sometimes I be feeling like y'all be going a little too hard on the game journalists and you just refuse to accept that people have different opinions than you. But then this is when I'm on y'all side. Like, nobody mentioned this in the fucking reviews. Like, to me, that's shady as fuck.
Crazy that Nintendo had to inch in their greed. Said, nah, bro, put up that $30 Amiibo so they can get some music in the background during a pretty boring part of the game. On some real shit, that is some greedy shit, man. That's some ultra corpo shit.
And if I could add to this, first and foremost, let me say, shout out to TJ Hernandez with the $5 super chat. Been watching you since the Cornelius O'Day is glad to be tuning in. I appreciate your super chat and the words, dog. This is what I want to say. First and foremost, I see some people in the chat saying hashtag World War Nintendo. You know what it is. It's World War Bethesda over here. Now it's World War Nintendo. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's another company. Oh, World War EA, World War Ubisoft. Yeah, Nintendo is like that. Nintendo, we are not condoning this. This is a bad business practice. And this is why I keep trying to say, creatively, gaming, for the most part, is in a great space if you're willing to try other games that don't involve balls and guns. The biggest problem in gaming is the business practices. And potentially censorship could become a big issue too, with all these Saudi investment firms buying out all these companies. But right now, the biggest issue in gaming is the economics of it. The nickel and diming of the consumer for what used to be free. That being said, let's not act like the consumer, I brought this up yesterday, capitalism is a two-way street. When it comes to the corporation's main job is to try to do whatever they can to appease their shareholders by increasing that profit. And your job as a consumer is only to try to get the best deal possible. And I feel like in 2025 and beyond, the corporation is doing a great job of what they're supposed to be fucking doing. You know who's not doing their part? The consumer. A lot of y'all are not looking for the best deal possible. Y'all complaining about games being $70, knowing damn well you don't have the money or the time to play every single new release. So I don't know why you bitching about it, yet somehow you still put all these games on your fucking credit card. But that's just in general. Let's talk about Nintendo. When Nintendo first fully revealed the Switch 2, a lot of y'all said, I'm not buying that shit. The games are too expensive. I don't see a reason to get it. It's not enough software there from day one. Then the Switch 2 came out. Within a month or two, it was the best selling. Hold on, I don't got my button on here. I gotta fix my fucking buttons. Whatever. It was the best selling console in Nintendo fucking history. Y'all lied. You lied. You fucking lied. So I cannot stress enough, y'all did this to yourselves. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. You let them get the tip in, they're gonna start fucking you. And that's what's going on right now. Y'all went out and bought that shit. Because I've been said, if everybody was really pissed at Nintendo, I stuck to my guns. I said, I'm not buying a Switch 2 until there's something for a reason for me to get it. I'm cool. I got a console. I got PCs. I'm good. I got everything. I don't need that shit. But millions of people, like 5 million plus people, went out and bought this shit. And that shit is collecting dust. And don't lie, because for the average Switch 2 owner, I know it is. Some of y'all in the chat have said it. After Donkey Kong, it ain't been shit to do because Mario Kart World was... And y'all still bought that shit, bruh. So now what's going to happen is they said, oh, they don't care as much as we thought. You know, on social media, they said one thing, but then with their wallet, they did something else. Well, let's try. What if we're just going to try it to see? Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if we just remove the music from the game and put it in a fucking Amiibo? And you know, the worst part about that, he doesn't even mention in this video about the Amiibo. I feel like we're too focused. And to be fair, we should be, but we're too focused on the fact that the music got locked behind the Amiibo. And we're not even talking about the fact that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't Amiibos hard to find? When they first came out like 10 years ago, they were everywhere. But now Amiibos are like collector's items. You're not getting them at every GameStop and Best Buy. They're hard to find. So if you want the full experience, that's going to be hard to find in the first place. This is crazy. This is nasty. I can't stress enough. If what you're saying you don't like, don't support it. Don't support it. It's really that simple, because when the Switch 2 came out, I swear to God, when y'all sat there and bitched and complained about the price of the games, if nobody went out and bought that shit, instead of 3 million in the first month, they only sold 100,000. I swear to God, that Switch 2 would have went from $400 to $300 in a month. Say it with me. Group economics, guys. It does matter. If you show restraint and your friends show restraint, it forces the corporation to compete. But if you do not force the corporation to compete, they're going to shove in their meat. Say it with me. If you don't force the corporation to compete, they're going to shove in their meat. If you don't force the corporation to compete, you're gonna eat their meat. You're welcome. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I gotta make lullabies up for you niggas to get it. I feel like it's starting to click, because I've been preaching this shit for years. I feel like it's starting to click, but it's taking too long. It's taking too long. I'm dragging y'all feet to the fucking water. Can we sip it? Can we please sip it, man? I walk past the Switch 2 every time I go to the Costco. I don't even feel the urge to buy that shit. The first time that happened to me like a month ago, I said, am I getting old? I was like, nah, I don't need that shit. Nah, like I was like, am I losing my passion for gaming? That's how I felt. And then I was like, nah, it's just because I don't need that shit, man. I don't need that shit. I will not be left out. I will not be fooled. I mean, please time out the streamer. Nah, I'm on fire, bro. I'm clipping this shit. Somebody got to do it, bro. You need to do a TED talk on this. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they don't teach group economics in school anymore. And your parents didn't teach you. Fucking everybody's failing you. So I'm preaching on the stream. The biggest threat to gaming is corporate greed and gullible ass motherfuckers. Friendly reminder, they can't be greedy if you don't let them take from you, bro. It is your choice to buy or not buy something. And people still choose to go there. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This nigga Ordinary Gamers got some drag making a whole video talking about how not getting a Switch 2 only for him to get one day one. Fraudulent, bruh. I'm waiting to see what that From Software's game is looking like. And I'm gonna be honest, if it doesn't review well, if that From Software game does not review well, the Blood Dust or whatever, I don't know when I'm getting a Switch. Like that, the Switch 2 is really riding for me. It might be another year. Because that's the only game I care about. That is and I only care about it if it was on PC. If that game was on PC day one or PS5 or Xbox, I would never buy a Switch 2 until Mario or Zelda came out. I don't care about that open world fucking Mario Kart. Donkey Kong looked cool, but the frame rate dropping and shit. I'm not paying $400 for a new console so the frame rate can move at 15 frames per second. It ain't worth it. It's a cool game to pick up if you already got one, but I'm not rushing to, like, can I put that in perspective before I get off my high horse? You niggas ran to the store to get a game that run at 23 frames per second in 2025. You should be ashamed. launch title. I mean, it was a launch window title. It came out a month afterwards, but it's pretty much a launch title. That shit chugging at 19 frames. Niggas was running to the store. You ran to the store faster than the game runs itself on the hardware. You ran to the store at 35 frames per second. Just to take that shit, put the cartridge in that bitch, and it ran at 15 frames. Man, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves, man.
Hey, God, you ain't funny. Only lame niggas say that shit.
Hey, but I ain't take the loss. Y'all did. If you cool with losing, none of my business. It is what it is, dude. It is what it is. I'm gonna keep preaching, changing one life at a time, but I don't know how much damage I'm doing out here. Companies pushing AI to save money, but charging us the same amount. That's a whole nother conversation, ain't it? At bare minimum, most of us, we do not like the AI shit that they doing, right? You're displacing people out of work. You're degrading the quality of the product. But at bare minimum, if you are going to implement AI into your games, your game development process, can we bring down the price of the game? Because, I mean, we just read it in that Sega article. They said they are considering it because it can cut costs down. Okay, well, if it's cutting down development costs, we should be able to bring down the price of the games, right? But they won't. They fucking won't. And do you know why? And what I'm about to say, if it don't apply, let it fly. It's because the Switch 2 came out and you, Minish Cap Mafia, you Hyrule Horn Dogs, you fucking Ganon Guzzlers, the day it came out, you ran 35 frames per second to get in line at GameStop. I don't know why. Fuck GameStop. It's World War GameStop. To play a game that runs at fucking 20 frames per second, it's your fault. It is what it is, man. These nicknames, you Luigi losers. I said what I said. I said what the fuck I said. Next topic. Ganon Guzzlers is the you Gerudo Valley Gooch Lickers, bro. I don't know. Beach Pirates. Battlefield 6 to address primary community complaint, improving hit registration and netcode ahead of a winter offensive update. So on the opposite of the spectrum, earlier we talked about how Call of Duty is failing because they listen to the community. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, Battlefield 6 is winning because they're listening to the community. Ain't that funny, bro? He said my favorite is Nintendorks. Shout out to the Nintendorks. Oh my god, goodness. Battlefield 6 has received both netcode and hit registration improvements ahead of winter offensive updates, which is set to go live on the 9th of December. Hey, listen, I know I'm cracking jokes and I'm making people laugh. That's what I like to do. Because me personally, I don't like to be preachy. I like to teach through comedy. I just hope that the message that I'm conveying is not going over y'all head. Y'all taking the candy and the medicine. I try to be fair because you also don't want to be too preachy either. At the end of the day, y'all grown men and grown women, you're going to do what you do with your money. I just hope that you make better decisions. Announced at the Battlefield Compost, the developers have stated that work continues to enhance both components of online play. This is especially noteworthy as issues surrounding both online netcode and hit registration have been points of frustration for some players since launch. I've seen this. I've had a few gun matches where I feel like I was shooting straight at them and the bullets went past them or like through them and it was weird. A lot of people complaining about that. It's not X-Defiant bad, but every once in a while the servers will lock up. We are continuing to build our network to make hit registration feel consistent, reliable, and predictable during every engagement. The post states, with this update, we have improved how bullet trajectories have aligned in fast-paced situations, including cases where shots were fired while transitioning into a zoom. These improvements correct inconsistencies that could affect hit registration and the readability of where your shots were landing. We've also made updates to better handle high-density combat scenarios to ensure bullet registers more reliable when multiple players are fighting in close proximity. And that's why I feel like it would happen to me. So basically what they're saying is like when there's all-out war going on, sometimes the bullet hit registration gets fucked up. That's good to hear that they're working on fixing that. Also, I saw they dropped patch notes. I didn't save it, but I can bring it up here. They dropped patch notes. If you play RedSec, they said they are reducing the respawn rate of tanks. I feel like that's a good step in the right direction because I didn't even know until the other day that there'd be multiple tanks on the fucking map. Maybe 2-3 tanks on the map. So they're reducing how often the mission appears for people to get tanks. But I still feel like tanks should be disabled in the final circle. I feel like that if you're not going to buff the damn rocket launchers, can we get rid of tanks for the final circle? That should be pure gunfights. Donkey Kong dweebs, not everybody coming out with the fucking Nintendo alliterations and shit. So that's the update. Battlefield continues to improve and listen to their community and things we actually want. A new Soul Calibur would be cool. I'm just saying. I agree with you. Soul Calibur is my favorite fighter, but Soul Calibur traditionally doesn't sell well, and that's why Bandai Namco. I mean, you know what's funny? I was just talking about group economics, and what I'm about to say, King doesn't apply to you because you love Soul Calibur and I love it too. I'm just speaking in general, right? The reason Soul Calibur doesn't get made is because people don't buy it like that. It's not that popular. It's a great fighting series, but it doesn't sell that well. And the suits see that and they're like, we're not making no money. We're not spending money to make that shit. But do you know what sells well that Bandai Namco also publishes? Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. My Hero 1, 2. Fucking Demon Slayer 1 and 2. Bleach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arena Fighters. Jump Force, all them goofy ass games. Those are what sell well that Bandai a Sparking Zero, and that's why they keep making them. And I think that's the part that like confuses me, because y'all get on Betty White's internet and you say, why the fuck do they keep making these fucking arena fighters? And then proceed to buy them. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. I just never thought to keep supporting things that I don't like. Man, this pussy is the driest pussy I ever been in, bro. I am not drowning right now. Matter of fact, I'm over here having just thoughts, an entire monologue while I'm fucking. Can't wait to get back in it tomorrow. I bet you don't say that to yourself. If you're a fornicator, I don't know, because I don't have sex before marriage. But if I did, I wouldn't be saying, oh man, this shit is so dry. Can't wait to come back tomorrow. But then y'all do the same exact thing with video games. Do y'all understand it now? You like the friction? Y'all niggas nasty. Motherfuckers really be doing that? You right. Some of y'all ain't got no standards. Crazy. What else I got for you? Oh, Sony's bringing MLB The Show to iOS and Android. Yeah, for all the PS4 broke gamers out there. You like MLB The Show is coming to the phones. Here you go. Here's the trailer. Mobile games. Why can't I put it in full screen? I like the friction is insane. It's just fucking insane, man. Y'all nasty. This looks different from the console version. I thought it was a port. This definitely looks like it was specifically made for mobile. That's not that exciting. You always dogging on arena fighters, but just how different can those 2D fighters really be? Do you play them? They are different. Guilty Gear is very different from Street Fighter. It's very different. See, y'all niggas be telling on yourselves, y'all don't play no games. Instead of addressing the problem and focusing on yourself, you just expose yourself again. What's the difference? I don't know. Blaze Blue's not that different from fucking Street Fighter 6. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They're extremely different, bro. There's a reason why when these tournaments come out, FGC dudes, they usually only play in 1 or 2 games. Like usually you will not see somebody who competes in Street Fighter compete in Tekken 7. They're completely different games. Granted, one, it is 3D. But you will not see people who play Blaze Blue and compete in that Melty Blood and then go and compete in another 2D fighter because they're complete and they're that in depth. But you fucking arena fighter niggas think that your arena fighting games where you press B is so in depth you can't even fathom the concept of real depth. Y'all be telling on yourselves, man. Leave the FGC out. I mean, I got my beefs with the FGC, but leave them out of this shit, man. Leave them out of this shit, bro. Y'all need to focus on, instead of saying to yourself, damn, he's right, maybe I need to stop buying arena games so they can improve. You instead get upset at people who buy 2D fighters that are completely different from one another. There's no correlation there. Focus on yourself. This is why a lot of y'all are lonely. You're constantly blaming women for shit instead of looking at yourself and being like, damn, I've been wearing the same underwear for 3 years, 3 days. 3 years is crazy. For 3 days. Maybe that's why I can't get a partner. Stop trying to correlate everything. There's no fucking correlation. Y'all don't play no fucking games, man. This shit is fucking funny, dude. This shit is funny. You said modern controls had us. Parries and shit, counting frames. Yeah, y'all got 20 different arena fighters pressing one button. I don't want to hear shit, man. What's wrong with wearing them for 3 years? Bruh, I know your room smells like Chernobyl, nigga. Be quiet. And then last but not least, Amazon Prime members get 14 free games. I thought I'd highlight it. Police, help. Maybe you know what it is. Maybe you only, because I mean, you like arena fighters. Maybe it's because you only play Dragon Ball Fighters. You assume they're all like Dragon Ball Fighters, and that's just not the case. But anyways, what was I about to say? You get Lego 2K Drive, Forgotten Realms, GYLT, Gunslugs 2, Ash World, man, y'all see the list. Fallout 2, Deus Ex Mankind Denied, that's fire. If y'all want the list of full free games, Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, that's a good game. If you broke and need something to play, I'm gonna drop a list of free games you get if you are an Amazon Prime member in the chat. Terrible take from another ball and gun gamer. That's why we gonna do the Ball and Game Awards, man. That's why we gonna do the Ball and